All right, blessed love on a beautiful Tuesday evening. Shout out to each and everyone. Blessings to each and everyone. Happy gardening to all. Shout out to all my supporters. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to all the people who email me and let me know what I'm doing is something positive. I agree. I appreciate you all. Shout out to all the members of this channel, all the moderators, all the supporters, all the viewers. Shout out to each and everyone. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to all the hardworking people. Shout out to all the mom and dad. Shout out to all the single parents. Shout out to everybody out there who doing something positive. Shout out to each and every one. All right. Peace and love to all. All right, so tonight we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about gardening. And the topic of today, the topic, the reason why I give this topic, because I want, I want people to know, especially the new gardeners. I want them to know that gardening is work and you got to put in the work to get great success. All right? That doesn't mean you cannot just plant something and leave it. It might grow, but it mightn't do as much as you hope it might do. So it's about putting in the work and get great result. Gardening is not about talking. Garden don't strive off of talking because you could stand up and talk all day over your garden if you not actually go in there and put in the work. It's hard to get success. So garden is could be a lot of work, especially the way I garden. I garden basically in a way that I don't have to spend any money. This is how I garden. I garden that I don't need to spend any money to have a productive garden and to have beautiful plants, beautiful, healthy looking plants in my garden. I don't want to spend any money. So I take the natural route, the route that the our ancestors used to be using. And some people might say it's too hard. Well, you know what? It is hard, but the result is marvelous. That's the thing. You see, sometimes we just want to garden and just do whatever, throw whatever around them and whatever. And you see, but I personally, I take pride in what I eat. So this is why I take the necessary steps to make sure that what I grow them right and natural, that I can get the nutrients and the minerals and the vitamins out of the food I grow and not out of a pill. We want to boost our immune system. We want to all this thing. We want to boost our energy. We want to able to run up the hill and run back down. But what we do now, we got to go and buy some stuff and mix them and drink them, or we buy a pill when we could actually grow these things right and able to reap the benefit of the nutrients, the mineral, the vitamin, the fiber, all these things that our body need. We could actually do gain it out of our garden if we willing to sacrifice our time and put more time into it than depend on something that you could just you buy, that you could just throw around it and then you see it blow up. Then but at the end of the day, where is the nutrition? Where is the mineral? Where is the nutrients? Where is our vitamins? Where is our fiber? Where is our iron? all these things that we need. And also the things that could help prevent certain things from happening to us. Help prevent. Hear me out. Help prevent. And I secure. Help prevent. Sometimes we wait too late. And when things gone too far, that's when we fighting to use all different type of stuff, but it already gone too far. So take the necessary step today for your own purpose, your own self, your own health. Not for no one, for you. I understand there's a lot of people who especially now start gardening and now trying. So sometimes they might watch videos and they just, they're going along with what they're seeing. But you know what I'm saying? But I understand that. But once you get to a place where you know better and you see better is walking, you should pay attention. But at the end of the day, everybody made their own decision. Everybody made their own choices. But gardening, not everybody take gardening the same way. And that's the thing. Some people just, you know what, I'm growing some food and that's it. Some people take pride, want to make sure that, hey, Sheed, we share, what's up? How you doing? Thank you for being here. Yes. So some people want to make sure that what they grow, they take the necessary step to make sure that it's something healthy they're growing and they could reap the benefit from what they're growing and not out of a pill. Right? Now, in gardening, it's a lot of hard work, especially if you garden like me. Because I go the natural way. I'm not trying to cut shortcut because the shortcut gonna help you. But at the end of the day, the shortcut is drying out your nutrients and your mineral out the plant. And then it's also drying out the mineral out of your soil. So yes, the shortcut will work for a period of time. You might believe with your eyes. You might believe it walking with your eyes because of what you're seeing. But the spiritual part of it is not working because it's draining the mineral, it's draining the soil. It's destroying the bacteria in the soil. It's getting rid of the earthworms. We're losing all our bees. We're losing all our butterfly. So the shortcut is really not helping us as far as I'm seeing. All right? If, you see, we can sit and we can talk about gardening and we could talk about our garden. But if we don't get up and do the necessary work, you cannot have the great result. It's not about just the harvest. It's about the nutrition, the minerals as well. So if we take in the necessary step to say, all right, I'm growing our own food. Yes, it's hard to grow your food 100%. It's hard to grow your food 100% natural. It's hard. But you could try to grow, at least have some say in it that you could at least grow at least 30%, 40% instead of 0% natural. You see where I'm coming from? Hey, Sissy, Texas Garden, how you doing? Thank you for being there. Yes. So, God, I believe everybody got to do what they got to do. You see what I'm saying? And you garden how you can. Because sometimes the resources you need, it might hard to come by. You might live around the trees, you might live in certain areas, and you got to go and buy everything you need. So I understand that. But there's a lot of people who have the resources around them and don't believe it's good enough. There's a lot of people who have their backyard and don't believe the soil is good enough to plant what they want to grow. So they prefer to go and get the compost from and don't realize that their native soil they have in their backyard could do wonders. I could show you where I'm growing food in clay soil. I could show you that and how rich and healthy the plants them looking. It's look at listen to me, guys. For anyone who might be watching this live and never saw the way I grow my food, please check it out. Check the way my plants them does look. Check out the looks of the plants them. Check out the richness. Check out the healthiness. How they looking healthy. How they get so big by growing them natural. So there's things you can do. You know what? It's a lot of information I can share now, guys. It's a lot of information I can share because I've been doing this thing for a long time. I've been gardening since 4 or 5 years old. All right? And I've been learning from since then. I've been learning from my parents. I've been learning from my family. So the way I learned to grow food was always natural. My parents them used to use cow manure. They used to use chicken manure, rabbit manure, sheep manure, goat manure. They used to use that. Which them times animal was eating healthy. Animal was eating grass. Rabbit was eating grass. Cow was eating grass. So everything was natural. But at the end of the day, they were still using animal manure. But I changed that. I don't use animal manure. I don't use nothing come from anywhere from the store. I maintain my garden the same way for over 10 years. Planting the same spot for over 10 years. And look at the plants them. It's still producing. Why? Because maintaining the soil naturally lasts your lifetime. But when you keep adding these things, instead of enriching your soil, it taking away from your soil. And it also not building your health. So growing your food natural helps. But like I now mentioned, not everyone can grow food 100% natural, 80% natural, 50% natural. Some people only could go 10%. But at least you have 10% control instead of 0%. At least you have 20% control instead of 0%. You see what I'm saying? You have a backyard. The weeds you pull up out your garden, throw them in a pile. Let them break down. Build your own compost pile. If you got to buy a garbage can and throw the weeds down inside it for breakdown over the winter, that's a way of feeding your plant, natural. So growing our food in a natural farm come with great result. And like I was saying, gardening, the topic says, gardening does not strive from words. Gardening strive from the work you put into it. You see? Gardening does not strive from words. What it strive from? The work you put into it. So at the end of the day, is the work you put into it. You could cut the shortcut. Yes, you might still get a harvest. No one saying I'm gonna get no harvest. But if you continue cutting shortcut, there's times you mightn't be getting harvest, or your harvest might be getting lesser and lesser. So have some sort of control where you could grow at least 10% natural instead of 0%. You guys need to really walk in a garden that grows natural. You guys listen to me. It's an amazing experience to walk in a garden that grows natural. It's beautiful. The soil smells beautiful. Everything smells beautiful in the garden. The plants them look healthy. All these extra stuff we put in our soil sometimes may be able to damage. If you notice me, I just use my raw hand in my soil. My raw, bare hands in my soil. Because I believe the connection, everything is natural, and the connection is great. The connection is amazing. Because whatever you put in that soil is just natural. It comes from nature. All of it comes from nature. So everything is just natural, the connection. The soil feel amazing. The soil feel great in your hands. Great. And then the plants just grow beautiful and healthy. So it's about maintaining, but you cannot overpower. Whatever you add in could never overpower your soil, your dirt. The dirt must always be dominant. The dominant force, the earth around your plants. So plants don't strive from words. Plants strive from what you add, the work you put in to the garden. The more work you put into the garden, the more result you get. The greater result you get. The more effort you put in trying to learn about these plants is greater result. Because guess what? When you get to know these plants and when you get to understand these plants, you know what to do to trigger their growth. You know what to do to make them get humongous. And these are natural. These are natural ways. You ain't using no chemical to enhance anything. There's natural ways you can use. Like for instance, I want you guys to follow me this year and see how my plants them taking off. I want you guys to follow me this year and see how my plants them taking off. You know, I create nature lead me. I would never take the credit. I can't even take the credit for this natural organic manure that I have right now. Nature lead me to these plants. All right? The combination the mixture that combine nature lead me to the plants, and also it was made with rain water. Now, this mixture, this natural manure, that nature helped me put together is magical. This thing is magical. My plants are them already looking beautiful. But now I seen something different. I seen something different. Right at this moment, a matter of fact, this morning, someone collect a 55 gallon from me. 55 gallon of this liquid manure. And this morning, I received a phone call telling me how marvelous this thing is. They already start seeing the result, and we're still in the spring. We're not even in the summer, but they're already seeing great result in this with this for natural manure that nature had led me to these plants. This mixture to put together and become magical. So there's natural things you can put together, combine together, and able to enhance your plant. So beautiful, make them so healthy, rich. When you look in their stalk, you could see the richness. When you look in their leaf, you can see the richness. But the thing is, sometimes you want to share these information. Sometimes you want to share these information with others. But, I ain't going to go no further with that. All I know, it worked magical. I can't take no credit for it because it's nature lead me to these plants and all the ingredients that I put inside of this thing naturally created. And now it's like magical. Last year, I tested last year. I tested on some bell pepper last year. And I put it on, I had my bell pepper, 7 bell pepper trees. And I put it on 2 of them. And out of the 7, the 2 that I put the manure around start producing pepper way before the other 5. Naturally start producing pepper before the other 5. Her big, massive pepper, while the others is just producing flowers. This year, the same thing. I have pepper, producing pepper right now, right at this moment. So you have natural thing that could enchant naturally. And I have that. Nature lead me to this recipe that you can put on it walking. And, I have people already gaining result from it as well. There's a guy with a farm. Take 55 gallon from me. 50, a whole drum. And he is telling me how beautiful this thing was. So there's, you know what I'm saying? But maybe one day I might share the recipe. Maybe one day, not now. Because, sometimes you just want to share stuff, but the way people are to the man is just people take your recipe, man, and just run with it and act like they didn't know where they get it from. Just like today, you share information, and you see, my thing is, I come on YouTube and I show how I garden because I want people to learn and know there's a natural way of growing your food. I see this walk in the all the time. This is how people survive. And it's still walking today because I'm a prime example of what's walking today, of it walking today. Because this is what I use, natural product only. So, in gardening, you got to educate yourself. You got to be smart. You got to educate yourself. You got to willingly want to learn. There's no arrogance in this. It's being humble and learn. You see what I'm saying? Being humble. The more humble you are, the more you learn. The more humble you are, the more you learn. So I'm willing to share how I grow my food natural. I show the whole thing. I have so much series going on right now. I have the container garden series going on. I have the pepper series going on. Yes, I have growing. Hey, Fifi Urban Homestead, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Yes, I have bell pepper series going on right now where I'm actually growing bell pepper 8 feet tall. Last year we do the 8 feet tall. This year we're trying to even hit maybe 8.5. But at the end of the day, I'm showing the steps, the whole steps of how you do it. So if you want to check it out, you can check it out because I'm giving you the whole step of how I do it. All right? You never know. You might just be successful too. And the thing is, if you fail one year, doesn't mean you don't try again because it actually happening. It actually working. The process is actually working. I'm even telling you what not to put around it and what to put around it. I'm showing the whole process. So anyone interested, don't forget, you could always check out that garden challenge. Let me see. I'm good. Currently planting my seedling. It's about to rain. I have to catch the rain. All right, all right, all right. All right, all right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Do your thing, do your thing. Yes. So gardening is not about words. Gardening, it's about the work you put in it. Garden don't strive from words that you just speaking. What garden strive from? The work you put into it. That's what it strive from. The work you put into it. It don't strive from words. So we could stand up and talk all day. Once we ain't go in the garden and put in that work, our result is surely not going to be the way we would like it to be. So the more work we put in, the more we harvest, the more success we gain. Even though sometimes it comes with challenging. Okay, let me see what Fifth is saying. I'm looking up at the beautiful moon too. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Yes, I was talking. I did a couple live about moon planting the other day and the importance of moon planting. I'm gonna do a series, not a series, I'm gonna do a live on just moon planting. I'm gonna give the best time to go in your garden and plant, the best time to go in your garden and weed, the best time to basically deal with your plants. I'm gonna definitely be doing a whole life with that pretty soon because planting time is approaching. Everybody planting now, so that will be a nice life to to do. Yes, that's it. You could sit and talk all day without that work. I'm not saying you're not gonna get food. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is great result, harvesting in abundance. Plants just keep producing, producing. And meanwhile, you got to learn about the plants them. I don't think much people take the time out to learn about plants. I really don't think much. I think a lot of people just plant and, let it do what it do. But the more you learn about these plants, the more you know what to do. You see what I'm saying? The more you learn about the plants, is the more you could get from them because the more you know what to do. How do you think, guys? How do you think I could tell you that I'm gonna grow 6, 7, 8 foot pepper tree? How do you think I could tell you that? Because I know what to do. I know what to feed them with. I know, you understand? Cabbage, I know what to do for my plants them to look rich and healthy. I know what to do. I know when to go in the garden and take care of them. I know when to leave them alone and let them do their thing. Because there's a certain point in a plant life that it don't need you to do anything to it. There's a certain point in plants life where they don't need you to do anything. You see what I'm saying? You just leave them, let them run. That's why it's important to take care of your plants when they're young. Give them the run. Give them that drive. So when you see they shoot up and they push out that beautiful green color, that enriched color that you could see. You could see it in the stalk. From outside, you could see it in the stalk, that beautiful color. You gotta leave it. It tells you, just leave me. Let me do my thing. Go focus on other plants. Then you have to know when to come back to that plant. You see what I'm saying? So there's a certain time when you got to leave the plant alone, let the plant do its work, because ain't nothing you could do at that time. Then you got to know when to go back to the plant. Yeah, you got to know when to. You see, there's a lot of things. Hey, Michael, what's up? There's a lot of things we got to know about plants. We got to know when to add manure to our plant. We got to know when to feed our plants. We got to know when to feed our plants. It's not about just packing them with manure and loading them up with manure. No. Because sometimes doing that end up in the food. All the manure you loading them with sometimes end up in the food, the taste. So you have to do it lightly and at a certain point. So my goal, what I'll say, this is why I always say, prepare your garden before you're ready to plant. Your soil should be waiting on the plant, not the plant waiting on the soil. The soil should be ready and waiting for the plant, not the other way around. So when you don't prepare that soil, you know that soil is rich and ready, just waiting for the plant to come. So yes, when you put the plant in the hole now, the plant gonna take off, right? When you see the plant take off, you give it a little dose, not too much, not too much. Yes, not too much, just a little. Then you don't give it nothing more. You give it a little and you give it a nice mold up. A nice mold up. Even you're doing it in container, you add it and then you add some soil in the container. This is why I always tell you guys, never fill your container. Your container should never be filled to the rim when you're planting. While it's growing, that's when you add. So while it's growing, you add. Then when it reaches the brim, you know there's a massive root system already created under that you're not seeing. So feeding the plant, you got to know when to feed the plant. You got to know when to go in the garden and add soil around the root. All these things you have to know. And this is how you get great success, great result. But guys, I got to say this again. I only could speak for people who grow in natural. I can't speak for chemical because I don't use that. So them thing can't, you understand? You know, I don't want to elaborate too much on them kind of product, but this is growing natural, okay? Like I know I was mentioning, sometimes you cannot grow 100% natural. We know that. It's hard to do that. But if you're able to grow 10%, 15%, 20%, 30%, if you're able to do that, at least you still control something. You see what I'm saying? Instead of growing 0% natural, at least have some kind of control where you could say, well, all right, I could add this natural product here that I get from the bush or from these leaf into my store thing instead of just going and grab everything. We don't know where these things come from. We don't know what's in them. We don't know. And I'm not knocking anybody product. That's not what I'm doing. But when you're growing natural, I'm giving you ways of growing natural and things you could do. Because when you're growing natural, you connect, your soil connect with the moon. Your soil connect with the sun, the wind, the air. Everything, the root of the plants, your soil collect to them. The earthworm, the bacteria, everything connected and just doing its job in your soil. You see, so your plants receiving what it's supposed to receive in the first place. We're not adding stuff to deplete what's natural. But like I now mentioned, everyone have to garden how they can. Don't get me wrong, guys. There's people who doing it from in an apartment. You got to do what you got to do, guys. There's people who doing it on a balcony. Guys, you got to do what you got to do. You understand? I'm just saying, if you have options, use your options instead of being 100% dependable. Guys, I'm doing it on my phone, and these words is so fine, man. Okay. I grow so much when I run. Oh, okay. All right, Mike Rocco. So I'm learning how to use it. Was fresh compost, and I let compost in. Okay. All right. All right. You see, gardening is about learning, guys. You understand? And we all learning. I'm learning every day. Even I'm doing this thing all my life. I'm still learning. You cannot finish learning in gardening. You cannot. Anyone tell you they know everything? It's a lie. Because you could never know everything, but you could learn something every day. It's so much to learn that you could learn something every day of your life, and you still ain't know everything. So gardening is a learning process. We just got to be humble, and you understand, be humble and learn. People actually doing videos showing you how they do it. You see? And the thing about it is, I'm not like me. I'm not sending anybody out there to spend thousands of dollars to buy anything. The way I tell you guys is about not spending any money at all. This is how I garden. You see what I'm saying? My garden, and you barely spend any money. I might buy a fruit tree from time to time, which I'm not doing anymore. I'm planting from seed. I'm not buying no more fruit trees. I'm doing them from seed. Right now, I'm doing that and it's doing well. I have apple tree that I planted last year from seed, and it's doing wonderful right now. I have peach that dropped from my peach tree, growing under my peach tree, which I'm gonna dig them out and plant them somewhere else. That's what I'm doing. I have lemon growing from seed. So these are the things I'm doing right now, because I'm not willing to go out and spend any money in gardening. And this is what I'm trying to show you guys. You can go out there and you can grow your thing without spending. You understand? So, listen to me, guys. I have containers, right? 9 years old. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not throwing them away. I have buckets, 8 years old, and I'm not throwing them away. Sometimes I try to clean them as much as I can, but you don't know there's old. I'm not throwing them away. I'm using them because you know what? They still produce. They still give me food. So why am I throwing them away and go buy new one? So this is what I do. My thing is use what you have. Yes, you might want to have some nice container. I understand if that's what you want. That's cool. But for the people who out there who don't want to spend a dime, that's what I'm promoting. That's what I'm showing you. You could garden without spend. I do it. I do it. The only how I might spend is like if I want to if I see a plant. If I see a plant and I interested in the plant, I might say, you know what, let me buy this plant and see if I can get some seed from this plant. You see? Because sometimes you could order the seed, sometimes you can't get the seed. But you see the plant. So if I see the plant, what I'll say, I buy the plant and plant it and get seeds from it. So at the end of the day, Yes, I spend $5-6 for the plant. But guess what? I'm going and get more than that $5-6 out of this plant. Because now I'm gonna get hundreds of seeds from the same plant I now buy for $6. So that's the only way I go out and spend money. That's why I keep saying, guys, save your seed. Save your seeds. So you could always replant. So if the next year you want to plant different thing, you ain't got to spend too much money. All you do, you know, $5-6 mightn't bother you. Because the other stuff you ain't got to pay for them because you already have your seed. So this thing is really, really important, guys. Hey, Life from Scratch, how you doing? Man, this thing is so fine. I'm iron line is fine. It's real fine. Yes, because I'm really doing it from my phone, and sometimes it just disappear. Sometimes the writing just show up and it just disappear one time. But anyhow, guys, gardening, everyone got to do what they can. Don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not telling you to stop doing what you're doing. That's not what I'm saying. Everyone got to do what they got to do because everyone got to eat and everyone have a family to take care of. Right? Everyone have a family. So everyone got to do what they got to do. I'm just showing you the way I do it and the great success I get from doing it without spending money. Yes, you might have to spend a few dollars. You might want to buy a new container. Yes. But I'm not throwing away my containers and them because they still produce, they're still walkable. I clean them as good as I can, but I'm not throwing them away because they walkable and plant does well inside of them. So at the end of the day, my goal is production. Healthy plants, healthy food with great production. That's my goal. I don't look at containers. Once a container is the right size, that's what I look at. Once the container is the right size, that's what I look at. I don't worry about how the container look. And I'm not throwing away my 8 years old containers because they does wonders for me. So yes, I understand. And the thing is too, it still depends on where you have your containers. Because if you have your containers in front your house, then you might want it look different. But if you have corners where you could push them in the backyard, you know what I mean? You could use whatever. But I understand. But guys, there's ways you can grow natural food. All right? If you cannot do it 100%, which we all know 100% is way hard to do, at least 10%, 20%, 30%. At least have some control, guys. Have some control. It's gonna be cheaper for you because everything adds up. Everything. Listen to me. You. This is why a lot of people don't garden. No. This is why a lot of people don't garden because the impression a lot of people push out there is like you got to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars to start a garden. So by the time you see that, oh no, I can't do it. But we got to encourage the people. Even if it's 2 buckets, go to the store, grab 2 buckets, get 2 old container you might have in your house, add some soil to them, and plant something in them. The next year you might add something more, and we got to encourage them how to start small, how to start small and expand. over the years. Because, you know, I never used to grow so much food. I used to grow my little area, you understand? And then I just start to open up, open up, open up. So over the years, you expand because when you do now, you're growing more. So let's encourage the people to start small, encourage them. Not these expensive containers and these expensive raised bed. No, you can start with a few containers you might have in your house not even using. You bore to a couple hole in the bottom, add some soil, add some leaf to the bottom, whatever, however you want to do it. Add some leaf to the bottom, a few old stick, rotten stick, and add your soil on top, and just leave it there till you're ready to plant. All this extras and is discouraging people. It's really discouraging people. You have a backyard. Your soil in your backyard is wonderful, but you don't know. But because you get influence from someone who make you believe that your soil in your backyard ain't no good, then you neglect the soil in your backyard. No, you go out and spend hundreds of dollars that you could have used and do something else. You see what I'm saying? Okay, let me see. You can sometimes find containers in Facebook and Marketplace. All right, okay. So Fifi gave an idea where you could find containers. People actually just be giving away containers. You see what I'm saying? So we got to encourage the new gardeners or people who want a garden to start small. You cannot watch, guys, for the new gardeners, the people who trying to start gardening. Take my little advice here. You cannot watch as a gardener who starting gardening for the first year. Go with how much you could handle. Don't try to do too much. Okay? And yes, you might watching other people, but you gotta remember these other people been doing this forever, all their life. Some people 2, 3 years, so they have a little experience. So don't watch that. Just watch you and what you could handle. All right? Don't watch the amount they're growing. Because sometimes that could be destructive as well. So as a new gardener, don't watch the amount somebody growing. Watch what you can grow and what you can handle. All right? Because it ain't easy. You could plant a lot of food. And if you ain't take care of them, your harvest could be not much. You know why? Because you plant so much and then you cannot take care of all of them. So some of them just stay there without any care and barely produce anything. So plant as much as you can handle that you can able to take care of all of them. It's better to plant how much you could handle than to plant a whole heap and then you can't take care of them. You see? So for new gardeners, these are things you have to pay attention to. Use containers you might have around your house. There's places giving away containers. Look at these places first before you decide, all right, I got to go buy some containers. Look at these places first. Then if you have a backyard with soil, don't underestimate your backyard with soil. Don't underestimate it. Because a lot of people give it up, and go and spend thousands and hundreds to bring in other things. And you know what's crazy? Let me tell you what's crazy. Good advice. Go. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Fifi. Yes, let me tell you what's crazy. Sometimes when you go and buy these things in a bag, the thing them not even break down. Sometimes there's still natural wood chip inside of them. That's not gonna do nothing for your soil. That have to break down first. Then sometimes you don't even know. Sometimes they bake the wood. If number one, if you bake the wood, well, let me see. Allegedly, if they bake the wood, let me say that, right? Because I ain't see they bake no wood. But if they bake allegedly, if they baking it, that's not gonna do much. Everything done drain out of that already. You see what I'm saying? Baking it and allow it to break down is different. You see what I'm saying? If it's break down naturally, if it break down naturally, it's different than if you bake it. You see what I'm saying? It's different. Because if it break down naturally, you're gonna have bacteria, you're gonna have the worms, you're gonna have everything up inside it doing their job. But if you bake it, you sucking out everything out of it. You see where I'm coming from? So sometimes these things ain't no better than your soil that you have there, telling yourself they ain't good. So test your soil. Plant a crop in your soil. Then for the fall, you try to add natural stuff in the soil for and leave it for the spring for the following year. You see where I'm coming from? Let me see. All right. That's it, right? You know what? Fresh. There's a compost that I did a review on, and the reason why I did that review is for people who actually don't have access to the natural. I kind of give them a little idea of the ones that break down. Not to say it's better than anyone. What I'm saying is the way it break down. All right, because a lot of them ain't break down. A lot of them still look like wood chip. That's not gonna do anything for your garden, especially if it big. You see what I'm coming from? Especially if it big. Yeah. So when it break down, wait, let me put back this. Give me a second. There. When it break down naturally, is one of the best thing it can be. You understand? And I'm not knocking any compost out there. But what I'm saying is sometimes you give up. You give up your native soil in your backyard and go and get these things and tap the soil, and then you planting your food in that. Ain't much you're gonna get out of that. You see what I'm saying? But if it's in the ground, at least we know the soil have some minerals. We know the soil have some. You understand? to feed the plant with. These things sometimes, you know, I don't want to call the name. I don't want, because I'm not discrediting anybody product. So I want to go there. I'm focusing on the natural thing, what I use. You know what I'm saying? Yes. You see? So all I'm saying is, guys, we got to pay more attention to what we're doing, what we're growing, what we put in around our plant. I know some people don't care really what they put around the plant, but you got to care. I care. I care what I put around my plant. I refuse to put any and anything around my plant because you know, the more, this is what I'm saying, guys, the more you garden, the more you should know, because the more you learn, you see, and this is how you know what to do and what not to do. You know what to do to gain success, because you learning about the plants them. And you know what, let me tell you something. Let me tell you guys something. You see, when you growing the same seed, the same plant from the same seed, over and over and over and over, believe it, you get to know that plant. You know the gene of that seed. You know exactly what to do with this plant, because you already programmed them. Like my peppers, I'm growing my okras, my peppers, my edos, my pumpkins, my squash them that I grow every year. You basically already know what to do to them. You know when to leave them alone. You know when to let them just do their job. You know when to leave them. You understand? Your pepper, same thing. You know when not to touch them. You already program them. It's like you know them like how you know your child. Yeah. You know them like you know your child. Because you've been dealing with the same seed, the same gene for so long. It's like you know them now. So, guys, gardening is not about words. You could sit down and you could talk all day. Unless you don't go and put that work in, you're not going to get great production. You understand? Like I said, you could use all different type of stuff out there. But you're going to only see the result with your eyes for a period of time. But the result, you're going to see result from your eyes, because you might see they get big and all of that. But guess what? You might still got to go and buy the pill that you could get to help boost your system, to help give you energy for get up and, you know what I mean, and walk, to help. You see where I'm coming from? So yes, they might boost the plant, but you're going to be losing, because you still got to go to a pill to look for vitamins, to look for iron, you see what I'm coming from? But if you try to do it without a lot of stuff that's there, you might able to gain that from the plant itself. The food you growing, you might be able to gain the vitamins, the iron, The mineral, you understand, you might be able to gain it from that. So is the measure that you want to take. This is your life. This is your decision. You got to make up your mind the depth you want to go and how far you want to go to get the food that you want. Because we could sit down here and we could talk about what the selling. Okay, we might talk about you got to go to the store and buy food, and the food, yeah, you could complain about that as much as you want. But if you put in the same thing around your food, you growing it and putting the same thing around your food, then what? How could you complain? You understand? You shouldn't complain because you're doing the same thing for yourself. And like I was saying the other night, you can't put poison in a bottle of water and drink it and expect nothing to happen to you. You see where I'm coming from? I'm going to say it again. You can't put poison in your bottle of water, drink it, and expect nothing to happen. And I'm going to leave that right there. Put in the work, guys. Put in the work. If you're living in a backyard, if you have a backyard, you have trees, you cut your grass, all these grass, you can take them and put them in a heap and allow them for breakdown. These grass break down so fast you wouldn't believe how fast these grass clipping break down. They break down pretty fast. So instead of, especially you have a lawnmower, say you have a lawnmower, I'll recommend a battery one. Say, saving the gas, the gas situation. Say you have a lawnmower, just try to get one with the bag. One with the bag to the back that collects the grass. Like when the lawnmower cut, it goes in a bag. And you take that bag and you throw it in a heap and let that build up there and break down. That's real compost you're gonna be getting, which is easy to break down. Sometimes you could just add some of that in your container. See how it fine? You could just shake some in your container and just cover it with some soil. And that break down in no time. All that is saving money. This is how we garden. We garden for free, for cheap. When I say for free, I mean without spending. Yes, now and again we buy a couple plants, yes. But majority, 90% of what we grow is where we throw seeds. We set our own seeds. That saves a lot. But this year, guys, I want you all to tune in because I'm telling you, I have some great, listen, I have some great results coming. I have some real serious results coming that I'm seeing so far so early. You know what I'm saying? Usually I don't see these results until maybe June. You know what I'm saying? And I'm seeing these results already. So yes, this garden season seems like it's gonna be a pretty decent garden season. I think it's gonna be little easier than last year. Last year, the rain, I could have counted on my finger how much time the rain come last year. The sun was so hot with no rain, but my garden still produced in abundance. still was able to produce so much without any rain. And there's ways again, guys, to grow food without water. Because last year was a prime example. No water. Like in a raised bed. You could grow food without water in a raised bed. You see what I'm saying? It happened. So it's ways to garden, it's ways to do it cheaper, it's ways to save you from watering your plants, especially you doing it in ground. It's ways to save you from getting up every day and wet them. In the container, it might be a little different. But in the raised bed in ground, you could save a lot. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Yes, so far, I can say. Yeah, Fifi. Yeah, that is true. That is true. That is true. Because you lose a lot of fruits last year. This year, so far, is shaping up a lot better than last year. So far, I don't know how the year gonna turn out. I don't know what kind of weather might spring forth. But so far, it is doing way better than last year. And we all know the miracle that rains walk in our garden. We all know that. But last year, I didn't get no rain, but my goodness, it was food non-stop, even though I wasn't getting no rain. So yes, there's ways to grow food without water. And people, if anybody tell you no, it could happen. It definitely can happen. You understand? Last year was a prime example of that. For the whole garden season, maybe 4 times I see rain. The soil was so hard and dry. But once you know how to plant, which I talked about a million times already, you could still be successful. You could still be successful. Hey guys, don't forget to hit that like button, guys. Don't forget to hit that like. All right. All right. So I'm gonna be going live when I feel like no. When I feel like I'm going live. So now, because this is garden season and this is planting season, and I'm trying to encourage a lot of people, you know, to get out there, learn to at least learn to grow something, learn, and you can do it without spending a bunch of money. This is what this channel is about. This channel is this channel. I don't know if people understand what I try to do, but this channel, it's about growing your food as natural as you can without spending any money or a little money. Let me even say without spending any money. Spending a little money and also guide you, show you things you could do that you could try. Not telling you to stop garden the way you garden, but at least if somebody is showing me how I could garden without spend money and still successful, oh yes, I will want to know. I will at least want to try, see if it could work for me as well. So I take a lot of time to give back. And I give back generously because I know there's people out there who need this information. Yep, there's people out there who need this information. Because I don't know. All I know, time is getting harder and harder every day. I don't know if you guys not seeing it, but what I'm seeing, thing is getting harder. And even though we might say, okay, there's food on the shelf, well, the food is expensive. You see what I'm saying? So if it's not to say there's food shortage at this time, I say no. But what I'll say, it sure is expensive. So at the end of the day, everybody got to do what they can and what they want to do. I cannot force nobody to do what they don't want to do. I know I'm going to just do what I can to make sure I have food and able to take care of my family. You see what I'm saying? And whoever I can help at the same time. But time is getting hard, guys. And we got to start looking at things different. Okay? There's a lot of people who showing what we doing out there. A lot of people showing, and some people listen to me, some people is entertainers and some people just real with what they're doing and just showing you how to survive and you understand things you can do. So it's the route you choose. It's either you want to be entertained or you want to grow food or you want to be able to feed your family. That's your decision. Okay? But I'm gonna still continue to spread the word. I'm gonna still continue to be positive. I'm gonna still continue to show as much as I can. And don't forget, guys, I have a container series going on. You could check that out. It's on my playlist where you could learn how I pack containers, how I prepare them, because the result them will be coming in pretty soon. I will be showing result from the way I do it. Remember, guys, I don't use anything than the grass clipping, the weed, not even grass clipping, the weeds in the garden, the bushes, the tree body. These are stuff that I use, a natural thing that nature breaks down for me. So this is what I'm growing off from. This is where this journey is from. Trying to transform the same energy out of my garden the same way into the container. So I'm growing the same way. I grow ingrown into the container. All right. So you guys can check that out just to see the result. And the thing about it, I show the progress. I show the progress. The weather is getting better now. So a lot of the plants were struggling because of that cold weather. The cold weather was coming every morning real hard. And then it cooled down in the day. But now the cold weather gone. So the plants them jumping now. Jumping for joy now. So yes, guys, I hope that everyone could have a successful year, whether in gardening or whether in your lifestyle, whatever you're doing, whatever you plan to doing, if you're planning to buy a house, if you're planning to buy a piece of land, whatever you're trying to do to uplift your life, I hope it can be successful for each and every one of each and every one. Stay positive, believe in yourself, trust yourself, don't doubt yourself. Because if you doubt yourself, who you expect to believe in you? You see what I'm saying? You got to able to believe in yourself. Then others can believe in you. If you doubt in yourself, how can someone believe in you? So believe in yourself, guys. Don't do more than you can. Don't hang your hand where your heart can't reach. The simple way is always the best, but I understand. Everybody enjoy life in their own form. And you can't knock no one. because everyone have their own way of living. So everyone enjoy life in their own form. Some might love to go out and party. Some might like to travel a lot. So, it's different ways. And some might just like to sit, relax, and just enjoy life in a simple form. You see? So at the end of the day, shout out to everyone at the same time. All right, we all are not the same people. We all don't think alike. Everyone think in their own way and fashion. Everyone see things different. So, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, guys, it is what it is. The truth is the truth. And we just got to look forward to the truth. You know what I'm saying? We've been told, we grew up learning a lot of things, and this is the age of information, and now we start to see a lot of things we've been taught it wasn't really so. So now we got to see things for what it is, and not what someone say. All right. Sometimes you could know the truth, and then you allow someone to deceive you and make you believe the truth that you know is a lie. Don't allow that in your life. If you know something is truth, you experience it, you live it. How would you allow somebody to tell you that truth you see, live, experience, tell you is a lie and give you a different version and you accept it? Then you can't blame them. Then you got to blame yourself. It's a point in time now where I believe a lot of things now, you can't even blame people anymore. No, for real. A lot of things now, you can't even blame no one. Because, you know, you remember well, this is a different age and this is a different time, right? But you remember before there was phone and cellular phone and television and all these things, right? You remember how it was. The only people you see is who you live around. You understand? Or you might go to a different village and see different people. But the only people you know is who live in your village. You're not hearing about other people in different countries. You understand? So it's what you learn around in your village, what they teach you. That's what you know at that point. No, you can know anything you want to know around the world. So in them times, it's like you had no choice but to believe. But no, you have choice because you number one, you live and you had experience. That's number one. That's your number one teacher right there. Experience. You live and you have experience. You know if you put your hand in the fire, it's not gonna burn you. You know that. So you can't make someone tell you, no, it's not gonna burn you because you know it's not gonna burn you. So if you allow someone to tell you it's not gonna burn you, and then you put your hand in the fire, then you gotta blame yourself. So the blaming game is really not there anymore. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, it might be there, but it's too much is open now for the blaming game. You see too much. You experience so much. Then you seeing everything every day on television. You hearing this happen. So you have ways to know. All right, you know what? I'm not into that. I'm not dealing with that. Before, whatever you've been told, that's what you got to believe because that was it. You live in a village. Sometimes you hardly leave your village to go in another village. Or if you go in the village, it's only for like a short period of time. But now you have full control of information. When I say full control, which there's so much information, you still got to be careful as well. You see what I'm saying? Because you get a lot of misleading information as well out there too. So you still got to be careful. But you live and you experience and you learn. So that alone gave you an upper hand to have a better understanding. So the blaming game, what do you guys think about that? The blaming game. Do you think we should sit down and still walk around and blame people for what we see going on today? Or we should just wake up and see things for what it is? Well, guys, oh wow, we here at hour and 27 minutes. Okay, all right, guys, don't forget to hit that like button before you go out. Thank you guys again for coming out. Truly appreciate you guys. Thank you all so much. Thank you all. Okay, let me see who I'll come in. Thank you, Fifi Urban Homestead. Thank you, Live from Scratch. Thank you, Micro Farmer. CC Texas. And Sheed. All right. Thank you guys for coming out tonight again. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys have a blessed and wonderful night. Peace, love, and blessing to each and every one of you. Happy gardening, and I expect each and every one to be very successful. And guys, don't forget the Herb Garden Challenge. It's rolling pretty well. And my goodness, these herbs is on another level. Everybody doing pretty good. Shout out to all the people who participate. Thank you guys so much. Thank you all. Thanks all the people who help promoting it and who mentioning it and who sharing it. Remember, you cannot win anything if you haven't been sharing. Do not wait till the last week to start sharing. You got to start. It's a process. Okay? Don't wait till the last week to start sharing. All right? You're supposed to be sharing already and mentioning it continuously. Oh yes, definitely. All right. So yes, guys, good night. You guys have a blessed night. I appreciate you guys. And we're gonna continue doing these live. All right. Peace, love, blessing to all. Good night.